Hey, we are looking at page 126, so you should have your book ready, pencil ready. Let's rock and roll. First thing we got to do, model number lines. So instead of using those squares, we're going to talk about number lines now. Fill in the missing labels for the red, longer, thick marks on the number line below. All right, let's take care of that first, part A. Okay, so there's nothing missing on the first one. 0, 1/10. We got to fill that in as 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 1. Cool. So now we have it not broken down by tenths. We have it broken down into hundredths. Little itty bitty hundredths. See how small those are? Boop, boop, boop. Now, what's going to be missing here? 0 and 0.20. What goes in between? 0.10. 0.20, 0.30, 0 and 40 hundredths, 0 and 50 hundredths, 0 and 60 hundredths, 0 and 70 hundredths, 0 and 80 hundredths, 0 and 90 hundredths, and then we have 1 and no hundredths. Sweet, sweet. So now, it says, how does the distance from 0 to 1, so that's the distance from 0 to 1, compare to the distance from 0 to 0.1? Well, clearly we can see it's a bigger distance, but let's get a little bit more specific. I'm going to say 0 to 1 is, we're not going to say bigger, we're going to say 10 times bigger than 0 to 0.1. Now it says to the distance from 0 to 0.01. 0.01 is right there. That's it broken down into hundredths, 1/100th, little itty bitty. So, yes, it's a lot bigger. If this is 10 times bigger, think about it. Think about it. We're moving up 2 levels. We're moving up 2 levels, 2 zeros. So 0 to 1 is 100 times bigger than 0 to, oh, what did I put? To 0.01. Awesome. So that's question 4. Question 5. Let's dip down to question 6 and question 7. I'm erasing, you don't erase though. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Okay, connected. How do the decimal grids, which decimal grids, those are just those squares, waffle looking things, and the number lines help you understand the relationship between values of adjacent places, that just means next to, places on our number line system. Cool. We're just simply going to say they give us a visual representation. So in other words, instead of just using numbers, when you see the number lines, you could see how far apart they are. When you look at the decimal grids, you could see how many more squares are filled out. So they do a good job of giving us a visual representation. Now, it says how many times greater is the value of 1.5 to 0.15. Okay, so think about it. We've got to go from this to this to this. Hopefully, what you noticed is if you take that decimal and move that over one time, that's going to get you that number. That's going to get you that number. So what we're going to write is 0.15 times 10 is equal to 1.5. Notice, remember the back before. Times goes to the right. And we got to move the decimal one spot to the right. Boop, and we end up there. Cool. Nice job. Close that up. See you tomorrow.